Activating Republic Navy Holo Record Identification Number 004. Holo Record Topic: Nexu. Nexus were feline creatures, native to the chilly forests of the Indana continent, on the planet Chulgana. There were other breeds of Nexus on the Chulgana's other continents, but only the forest Nexu had an additional set of eyes able to view in infrared wavelength, which aided in their hunting of bark rats and tree-climbing octopi. They were often exported and trained as security beasts, as used for patrolling on Malastare, or used in arena combat, as seen on Geonosis. Nexu were 4.5 meters long and generally 1 meter tall. The Nexus appeared to be feline in nature, with claws which could slice a human in half. They had spikes along their back, and a tail that in the wild allowed the Nexu to swing from tree branch to tree branch. They had extremely sharp instincts and reflexes, although they were known to tire easily, and often used swift movements to finish an enemy quickly, biting down and thrashing their head about to break the victim's neck. Cubs are born pure white. A particularly stealthy variety was a black Nexu. This species was also one of the most rare. Too vicious to be kept in zoos, and difficult to train as watch beasts, they were instead sought after for arena battles, where their ferocity was much appreciated by spectators. This resulted in many big game hunters making regular visits to Chulgana, hoping to capture a live Nexu for export. Many hunters ended up dead, however, when tracking prides of Nexu, and as a result, fees for live Nexu often ranged up to 500,000 credits per animal. Buyers, such as Senator Ask-Ak of Malastare and Archduke Poggle the Lesser of Geonosis, willingly paid such prices, however, in order to add these magnificent creatures to their collections. In 32 BBY, after the invasion of Naboo by the Trade Federation, the bounty hunter Jango Fett faced many Nexu on his visit to Malastare during his hunt for Komori Vosa. A Nexu was used during the attempted execution of Senator Padme Amidala prior to the outbreak of the Clone Wars, and its actions could be considered typical of the species. It would climb towards its victim, strike, then return to the ground quickly, waiting to see if its enemy would strike back. It was an extremely aggressive creature, snapping, clawing, and roaring in the general direction of its prey. An agile hunter that sacrificed bowmass for speed. When a kick from Amidala knocked it down, it quickly and easily weakened its tender body greatly. It was then taken down by a reek, steered by Anakin Skywalker, finally ramming the stunned Nexu, killing it instantly. By 130 ABY, wild Nexu were a common and dangerous sight on Coruscant, and tourists were often advised to stay with their groups when sightseeing on the capital. The Nexu were usually seen in areas of the planet still scarred by the Yuzan Vong War 100 years prior. Holo Record Identification Number 004. Topic: Nexu. Purpose: editing original Holo Record data. I must note that Nexu have been encountered recently on the lush world of Tython, in proximity to the Jedi Academy. Please employ extreme caution when traveling outside the confines of the Academy and avoid any animal carcasses. That concludes Navy Holo Record Identification Number 004. Deactivating Holo Record.